Hello, welcome to my channel. This is lecture 9 of the series Special Theory of Relativity, and the topic for today's lecture is energy momentum 4 vector. This lecture is going to be the continuation of the previous lecture, that is the lecture on 4 vectors. In this lecture, I'll be discussing the most important 4 vector, that is the energy momentum 4 vector. So let's start. In the last lecture, we saw the momentum 4 vector, which is given by P is equal to m naught times velocity 4 vector. So this capital letters denote 4 vectors. If we write all the components of the momentum 4 vector, we would get something like this. This is the common factor m naught over under root 1 minus v square by c square, and it is multiplied with each and every component of the 4 vector. So as we learned in the last lecture that a 4 vector has 4 components and they are denoted by the indices 0, 1, 2 and 3. If you haven't seen the last lecture, I'll post the link in the description, so please do have a look at it. Now let's start the discussion about the most important component of the energy momentum 4 vector, and that is nothing but the zeroth component, because in the last lecture we discussed all the other 3 components, that is the special components of the energy momentum 4 vector, and they are nothing but if we go to the limit where v is very much less than c, then those components are converted into normal momentums. So today we'll be discussing the time component, the component that corresponds to the time part in the 4 vector, and that is nothing but the zeroth component, which is given by p0 is equal to m naught c over under root 1 minus v square by c square. Now if we look at this component, and even if we take the limit where v is very much less than c, we get only m naught c, and it corresponds to nothing that we have learned in non-relativistic physics. So how to look at this component and understand what it actually is? Okay, so to understand this component, we write m naught c over under root 1 minus v square over c square in this way, and since this factor v square over c square is very small, that is why we can expand that factor in terms of a series, and it comes out to be m naught c times 1 plus half mv square by c square plus higher order corrections. So these are the HOCs, that is higher order corrections. So we get p naught as m naught c plus half m v square by c. So we multiplied this m naught by these two factors, and we get this two terms, that is m naught c plus half m naught v square by c plus higher order corrections. Okay, now moving further, so what we do is we multiply this zeroth component by c, and we get m naught c square plus half m naught v square plus further corrections. So when Einstein did this, he realized that this second term, that is half m naught v square, is nothing but the kinetic energy of the particle, and if we go dimensionally, then even this term, that is m naught c square, must have some dimensions of energy, and that is why Einstein named this as rest energy, because there is no v involvement in this term m naught c square. So this m naught c square, that is rest energy, is a form of energy, and thus we have the famous relation by Einstein, E is equal to m naught c square. Okay, so this Einstein's relation is is found when there is no involvement of V, that is, the object is not moving, and we get an energy which is called as m naught c square. So according to Einstein, when an object is at rest and there is no kinetic energy, the fun is not over. It has the energy which corresponds to its mass, and that is nothing but the rest energy. And in this way, Einstein led the way towards getting energy from the nuclear reactions. He actually did not develop nuclear reactions and the mechanisms for them, but he actually carved the way through this equation that we can get energy from the mass of an object, and that is nothing but Einstein's famous equation, E is equal to m naught c square. Okay, so if we have a look at this zeroth component, it was nothing but m naught c over under root 1 minus v square by c square. Now what we did was we multiplied that component with c and we got the terms which had the dimensions of energy. So in total, E, which is equal to Cp naught, must also have some dimension of energy, and that comes out to be m naught c square over under root 1 minus v square by c square. And this is nothing but total energy of the moving particle. So what does this total energy includes? It includes this rest energy, this kinetic energy, and these higher order corrections to the kinetic energy. Okay, so in total, energy, which is the first component of the zeroth component of momentum, includes rest energy plus kinetic energy and the higher order corrections to kinetic energy. Okay, so this is nothing but our energy momentum 4 vector, where the first component is E by C, because we multiplied the zeroth component by C to get energy. Therefore the zeroth component is E by C, and the further three components are nothing but the normal momentum, spatial momentum, when V is very much less than C. Okay, now in the last lecture, we studied something about metric, which was given by Gij, and here the metric is 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. We saw this, okay, and the other terms are 0, right? So this was the metric, I added few extra zeros, sorry. So it's a 4 cross 4 matrix, and just remember that the diagonal elements are this and other elements are 0. Okay, so I told you that this metric defines the dot product in some way, and since these other three diagonal elements are negative, therefore the dot product of the position 4 vector is c square t square minus x1 square minus x2 square minus x3 square, and this x1 square, x2 square and x3 square can be combined together in r square. Okay, similarly, if we do the dot product of the energy momentum 4 vector, we get the time component, that is p naught square, minus p square, that is the spatial component. Now if we substitute the values, so this is the time component, that is mc over under root 1 minus v square by c square whole square minus mv over under root 1 minus v square by c square whole square. So we get the dot product between of the energy momentum 4 vector with itself as m square c square. Okay, and since dot product is a scalar, it's an invariant, we from here see that this is the rest mass, that is m naught, and this is c, and these both are constant, and thus we get the dot product is constant, that is m naught square c square. Also we know that p0 is equal to e by c, and p1 is equal to px, p2 is equal to py, and p3 is equal to pz. So we get p naught square minus p square as e by c whole square minus p square. So we have two relations for the dot product. First is m square c square, and the other is e by c whole square minus p square. Now we equate these two equations and let's see what do we get. So after equating this, we get e square by c square minus p square is equal to m square c square, and rearranging the terms we get the equation e square is equal to p square c square plus m square c to power 4. So this is very important equation because what it does is, if we consider massless particles, that is the particles which do not have any mass, that is m is equal to 0, even though for such particles there is an energy which is given by E is equal to Pc, and that solely comes from their movement, and such particles are nothing but our famous photons, the quantas of light, that is photons. So in the last lecture, as I promised, we will be deriving equations. So first equation that we derived is E is equal to, we derived E is equal to mc square, and the second equation was E square is equal to p square c square plus m square c to power 4, where we found out that even massless particles can have energy, and that energy corresponds to their momentum. And the famous example is nothing but our photons, that is quantas of light. Okay, so this was the important energy from a momentum 4 vector, and the last this was and the last 4 vector that we are going to discuss. And the next topic and the next lecture would be the last in the series of special relativity. It will be about causality principle. So please do hang on for that lecture, and if you like this lecture, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.